It's been said that women like to complicate things, and in this instance I have to agree. That is exactly what happened on this project.
Dolce and Gabbana, Fendi and Adana.
Oh well, it started out as a simple, fun, cute, flowy maxi dress, and it changed drastically. And my mom and I were both so happy when it was done because we were just so tired of this one. It turned out good in the end, but the process getting there was just kind of like, oh, are we done yet? It started at the fabric store, really. I'd found a fabric that I liked, but I didn't like it for the whole thing. But I found a color that could kind of go with it, but it was too dark for spring. All those different factors that go into determining what will work and what will look good and make it wearable. Because ideally, that's the end result, is having something that's wearable. And then while we were at the fabric store, we were on our way out after looking at different patterns, and I saw a poster that had a dress on it, and I was like, why don't we do something like that? So it went from this to something like this. And then the more I thought about it, it then turned into this over here, which was kind of hard to do. There was no pattern for it online, so we couldn't just kind of print something out and cut based on that. So I had to make my own pattern. I saw a nifty trick on Pinterest that you can make a pattern using aluminum foil. So I did that. I grabbed a maxi dress that I already have and used aluminum foil to create a pattern, and it was very helpful determining the bust line, because maxi dresses a lot of the time are just a straight shot, which is what the body of this is, but the top was a little bit different. So it was very helpful having that. So I made that, and then I did a lot of cutting and a lot of maneuvering and finagling to make sure that it's going to work. And one of the toughest things about this dress was the little, not cutouts, but shapes. The shapes that go on the kind of following the natural waistline. Because my mom had never made anything like that, and I hadn't made anything like that. So it was just kind of tricky figuring out how to get it to work, how to get it to look right, and how to make it not look like I have two giant apple bites being taken out of my sides, and make it look fluid and cohesive and good. And I think those turned out really well. I'm very pleased with that. And this project took a lot longer. I started it in mid-April, but it took a long time to do because I couldn't just do it myself. I needed a lot of help from my mom, whether it was help pinning things. I spent a lot of the time standing like this while she pinned around me, just because you can't pin yourself. And then I needed her eyes looking at me, because from my view, I couldn't really see what was going on with the dress, and I couldn't see what looked right and what if it was even or not. And even just looking in a mirror is not the same of having somebody who is not an expert, but knows what they're doing in sewing. I'd rather have my mom's eyes when it comes to that stuff than mine, just because she has the experience and she has more of the knowledge than I do. So it was a lot of waiting for her. My brother got married. It was Easter. We had a bunch of family in town. We're currently now dog sitting his dogs. So things have been a little crazy, which is part of why I didn't finish this one in time. But when I finally got down to it, and we finally had a breather, had a break, we're able to refocus and kind of get back to our normal, we finished the dress. It took a long time. A lot of cutting and a lot of pinning and putting on, and then repinning and fixing. So this simple maxi dress, where in the description on Pinterest said, oh, super easy, it's just 4 rectangles, doesn't take longer than 30 minutes, took me hours. like I said, I like to complicate things. With this project, I learned 2 nifty new tricks. First one, how to put a zipper on a piece of clothing, not on. It's pretty easy, but it was still a little tricky at the very top where the actual zipper piece was, sewing a straight line around that awkward hump because it doesn't lay flat and all that, whatever. But I got it done, and I got it in, and it works. The second thing I learned was how to make straps. You know, you'd think it's really easy peasy, which it is. You just take some fabric, fold it over, sew it, and then you get a safety pin, and then you thread it through itself, and just like that, a strap is born. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with this dress. There's some minor tweaks that still need to be made. It's a little big up here. Every time we put it on and measured, I had on something, a t-shirt or pants, or even a tank top underneath, so that you wouldn't think, but that adds a lot of extra cushion, because when I put it on, it was kind of loose, especially right up in here. But aside from that, you know, I like the dress. It's not exactly how I saw it in my head, but it's pretty darn close considering my very novice experience in doing all of this. And I wouldn't trade the lessons I learned from this for anything. So I'll definitely, it taught me a lot of useful, helpful new things that I'm sure will carry on to my future projects.
Nicely, they buy me all these ices, Dolce and Gabbana, Fendi and Adana, Karen, they be sharing all their money, got me wearing fly.
And speaking of future projects, you may have seen, you may have heard, if you haven't, that I'm dropping a major hint right here. I got into grad school in London, so that's really exciting, which means if it starts in September, then I'll have to move up a couple deadlines a little earlier, but hey, it's no biggie really. I also need to really get on the ball with this month's project. We're about halfway through April, and I haven't even looked at it since I found it in December. But thank you for watching. Thanks for checking it out. Let me know what you think.